This is a lesson on the multiplication of fractions. When you see two fractions multiplied together, it means one fraction is what portion of another. The time signs you can interpret as meaning the word of. So, an important note to remember when you're multiplying fractions is that when multiplying a fraction by another fraction, the product is always smaller. It's a piece of a piece. So in this example, you see the question is 1/4 times a half. So I'm asking, what is 1/4 of 1/2? You can see that I have a half piece here. I'm looking to divide it into 4 equal pieces, divide it in fourths, and I can see one of those fourths, pictorially I can see that it's equal to 1/8. So the product of 1/4 times 1/2 is 1/8. The rule for multiplying fractions is really fairly easy, much easier than doing addition and subtraction with unlike denominators. No matter what the denominators are, when you're multiplying fractions, the rule is you multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators and simplify to lowest terms if necessary. So in this example here, 1/2 of, or 1/2 times 4/8, if you multiply 1 times 4, you get 4. 2 times 8 is 16. 4/16 simplified. I can see 4 is a factor of both. So 4/16 simplified equals 1/4. If you were to think of that pictorially, if I had 4/8, as you see the picture in purple, and I was looking for half of that is indeed equal to 1/4. Let's look at another example. Again, the rule for multiplying fractions is to multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators, and then simplify to lowest terms if necessary. You see here 1/2 times 4/8 is 4/16, which you can see here in the picture. And that was derived by going 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 8 is 16, and that can be, 4/16 can be simplified, like we said before, by dividing both by 4, simplified to 1/4. So, before multiplying fractions, the numerators and denominators, you can look at them, look at the numbers on the diagonal, and if possible, simplify before multiplying. So here we see 1/2, the same problem, times 4/8. If I'm looking here on the diagonal, I see that there's a factor of both 2 and 4. In this case, it's 2 itself. So 2 divided by 2 gives me this 1. 4 divided by 2 gives me this 2. So now when I multiply across, it becomes 1 times 2 equals 2, and 2 times 8, 1 times 8 equals 8. That can be further simplified to 1/4. So it says to always look at the numbers on the diagonal and see. Really, if I was looking at this the long way, I would see 1 times 4 is 1 times 2 times 2 over, and I look at the 2 times 8. Breaking that into factors, it would be 2 times, and the factor 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, breaking them down to primes. If you look at these two answers, I would see that the 2 2's cancel out to 2 2's, and what I'm left with is 1/4. So it's simply taking your numerators, breaking it into prime factors, taking your denominators and doing the same, and then knowing that 2 over 2 equals 1 and cancels itself out. The shortcut version of doing this is looking on the diagonal, what we call cross-referencing or cross-canceling. So that, in fact, is how we multiply fractions. I think you'll agree, much easier than adding or subtracting.